You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5.
It's very hard for people to envision themselves moving forward.
This morning, we're hearing from an evacuee in Hawaii and how the Red Cross is helping residents move forward after losing everything.
And protests continue today over the immigration policies that have hundreds of kids separated from their parents at the U.S.-Mexico border.
And it's the summer movie season. We'll tell you which movies are hot already. Good Morning Suncoast starts right now. Weekend's now over. Monday morning coming in, 5 o'clock. I'm Ray Collins.
And I'm Stephanie Webb. Thanks for waking up with us. And we have to say happy belated Father's Day to our favorite meteorologist. That's also a father, John Scalzi.
Thank you very much. It was a great Father's Day weekend, too. Absolutely gorgeous. A little on the warm side. Hit 95 degrees in Tampa yesterday. Really hot. Today is going to be another hot day. We'll get up to about 93 here locally, and not much in the way of a rain chance again. Now, yesterday we did have some showers, but they kind of waited until later in the day, so that was kind of good news. Most all outdoor events, I think, got off without a hitch, and that'll be the case again today, I think. Showers and thunderstorms will start late. We don't have a whole lot in progress now. We do have a cluster of storms back to the west that's going to produce some fairly heavy rainfall. We'll talk about its influence, if any, on our weather, as well as what the Hurricane Center says is the chance of development there. Across the region, temperatures are generally holding in the upper 70s at this hour. We are well on our way to seeing temperatures of 90 by the time we hit lunchtime. And red tide, still a problem across the region. We'll discuss that as well in a few minutes. Our daytime high today tops out at about 93 with only about a 30% chance of rain. We'll talk about the timing of those storms coming up in a few.
Now let's go outside now and check the live camera. Today set up at I-75 and Bee Ridge Road. Looking eastbound there across the overpass. There's some oncoming cars from the Laurel Oak area of eastern Sarasota County coming this way on Bee Ridge Road. Let's go to the maps right now. In Manatee County, we'll find some delays southbound 301 after you cross over State Road 70. Otherwise, all clear in Manatee County. Checking the northern half of Sarasota County, little residual buildup there on 301 northbound as you head away from Fruitville and toward 10th Street. Otherwise, all clear right now in northern Sarasota County. And then our final map of the south will show just one small blip there, the very base of your screen, in fact, behind the 41 medallion there toward the bottom around Warm Mineral Springs. Stephanie?
Thank you, Ray. Well, on Hawaii's Big Island, the Civil Defense has now officially upped its count of the number of homes destroyed by the Kilauea volcano eruption. That tally now stands at 533. Now, as of this morning, lava continues to flow into a channel, then out into the ocean. The Hawaiian Volcano Observatory says that the ocean entry remains fairly broad, with still more gases that are continuing to blow back onshore. Look at this lava flow right there. And there's also still a warning to residents out there this morning. Volcanic gas emissions remain very high from all of those eruptions.
And whether it's a volcanic eruption, an earthquake, or a hurricane, mental health experts say the psychological effects of surviving a natural disaster can be serious. One Hawaii resident talks about how the Red Cross is making residents feel more comfortable despite losing everything there.
You never think it's going to happen in your own neighborhood.
Robin Taylor is living at the Red Cross shelter in Pahoa.
For now, it has to be my new home. I just decorated my tent. I put down handmade quilts we got up front, handmade quilts on my bed and on my floor, stuffed animals. So it looks kind of like my home.
They're learning to build new communities here.
The American Red Cross provides evacuees with shelter, food, and water. Really everything they need to survive after something like this. But the people they serve need much more than that.
They may have sleeplessness, they may be irritable, they may be short-tempered. Some people may feel just a unique sense of sadness that, you know, everything I've had is gone, or I've lost everything.
Ginger Van Rye is a mental health volunteer with the Red Cross. She's helped people through hurricanes in Texas and mass shootings in Washington State. She knows their pain and the questions they have.
What's going to happen next for them? How to plan for the future? It's very hard to do because this is such a long-term event. It's very hard for people to envision themselves moving forward.
Van Rye has learned that every disaster is different, and so are the people affected.
There's a very strong Hawaiian culture of family and accepting one another and trying to work together.
It's really hard for the Red Cross to understand that a lot of people move to this particular area of the island because they're not really sociable people. You know, they're kind of already not really wanting to plug into the rest of society. They just kind of want to be by themselves and left alone.
Life in the shelters is far from perfect, but the Red Cross and other volunteer groups are doing their best to make it as comfortable as possible.
It's like a big family here, and we're trying to keep things real positive.
I feel confident and comfortable that they're ready to move on to the next phase. And so those are the things that I take away from a deployment like this.
And thankfully, more emergency help is headed to the island today. Members from the AmeriCorps teams are headed to the island from Mississippi. Now, that group, which actually serves through the FEMA Corps, provides resource help to residents there, also helps them find some temporary housing and assistance in those things. Now, the other important part of their mission today, that team is also responsible for relaying information back to FEMA on what help is most needed in that disaster area.
All right, back here on the Suncoast, northern Manatee County is growing and growing quickly. 3 schools are set to open next year in Parrish, and now a new shopping center is also on the way as well. Construction is starting at the site of the new Gateway Commons Shopping Center. The 33-acre site is east of I-75 and south of Moccasin Wallow Road. The project's developer, Primerica Group of Tampa, says Publix will anchor the shopping center, and more stores are expected, as well as a hotel as well. The Manatee County Chamber of Commerce says 225 of their clients are now north of the river. Northern Manatee County is eventually going to pass, they say, nearby Lakewood Ranch in downtown Bradenton.
It's going to be one of those communities that are growing, that have all those essential services in one space. We need to continue at this pace to make sure that we have the concurrent services along with those this growth.
Neighbors say this new Publix is very much needed. The closest grocery store right now is 7 miles away.
Here's a question. Should college campuses be used as early voting sites? Well, the answer to that one is no, at least according to one recent lawsuit. The League of Women Voters and several college students sued the Secretary of State in federal court, saying that they feel that having early voting sites on campuses would bring about a higher turnout of young voters.
They may not have a way to get to an early voting place. They may not have a car. It might be way out of the way. We want to encourage our young people to engage in the civic process.
Attorneys argue that the suit belongs in state court, and they asked a U.S. judge to place a stay on that lawsuit or completely dismiss it.
After several recent bicycle deaths in and around Venice, the city is looking to do more to keep bicyclists safe. Florida is #1 in the nation when it comes to fatalities for bicyclists. Sarasota County is home of the Legacy Trail, a popular attraction for cyclists. That area is safe, but some say the problem is needed wider sidewalks into other parts of Venice. City Council is meeting in a few weeks with the Sarasota Manatee Metropolitan Planning Organization. Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, over 1,000 children have been separated from their families under a new zero-tolerance policy by the Trump administration.
And coming up later in the hour, Mother Nature strikes again. This time, an earthquake in Japan, injuring hundreds. We'll tell you the story around. But first,
here's a peek outside at Washington, D.C. Pretty shot of the Capitol lit up inside there right now at 5:08. 74 degrees right now in Washington, which sounds relatively cool here, John Scalzi.
They'll get up to 100 today. Yeah, it's going to be really warm in Washington. We're looking at temperatures that'll be warm here as well. I mean, even by our standards, where sea breezes and moderating effects of the water tend to keep us cooler. We'll get up to probably about 93 for a daytime high today. Hit 94 yesterday. 30% chance of showers, that's it, coming mostly later in the day. So I've checked the inclement weather box for rain only because of the drive home this evening may feature a few showers. All airport hubs serving Sarasota International running on time this morning. We'll have the forecast for you coming up in a few.
I took my first handful of pills, and that's when all my priorities seemed to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes.
He just assumed that they would have medication.
He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids. Planning a Carnival Fantasy Cruise out of Mobile? Then check out the park and cruise packages at the luxurious Battle House and Renaissance Riverview Plaza hotels. Stay at the Battle House for $169 per night or the Riverview Plaza for just $149 per night and leave your car for the duration of your cruise. Includes transportation to and from the cruise terminal. If you're cruising out of Mobile, come stay with us. Call 1-800-MARRIOTT or visit Marriott.com now.
It's been about a month, and I can honestly say I've seen the change in me. I went from being a depressed girl who didn't want help to this happy, caring girl who loves helping other people. I just really hope that people that went through what I went through get the help that they need, because their story is important and they are loved. Thank you so much for everything.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 70.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
77 degrees at this hour, and we have 94% relative humidity. Humidity's up, but unfortunately we don't have a lot of a kicker in the atmosphere to get our showers going. And in fact, our rain chances will be going down as some drier air aloft begins to filter in. Looking hour by hour through the day, it is going to be another warm one as we move up through the afternoon. 93 degrees by about 3 p.m. and about a 30% chance of showers. Those showers will occur mostly in the later afternoon and will have probably centered close to the coastline. Kind of similar to yesterday, those showers will really kind of start to kick off around 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the evening. I put in a 30% chance of 7 a.m. showers, but unfortunately that 30% is an artifact from Friday that I forgot to take out. But the actual chances for rainfall max out about 3, 4, 5 o'clock this evening. And it's not that much, about 30%. As far as Titan radar goes, there's just not a whole lot of action going on currently. We've got some showers over on the other coast. We've got a lot of showers back to the west. In fact, that's all part of a trough of low pressure that we were watching all last week for the potential of some development. In fact, we have been monitoring for about 2 weeks now as it came up from the Yucatan. It's going to produce a lot of heavy rainfall for the Texas-Louisiana coastline, but unfortunately, we don't get much chance of showers from that tropical moisture. Now, some of the moisture did lift north into our area yesterday and did bring us some rainfall, mostly from around Venice southward through the mouth of Charlotte Harbor during the evening hours, 10, 11, 12 o'clock. And today, I think we'll probably see a similar sort of situation, just a few showers around. Chance of formation of this system is only about 10%, very low, and as it lifts northward, chances get even lower. So we'll look at a big ridge of high pressure that continues to provide us with that easterly wind flow today. The easterly wind kind of critical to our forecast today as it keeps the sea breeze pinned very close to our coastline. But with time, that high sinks southward, some drier air filters in, and we start to watch those winds shifting around to a more westerly direction, which means any showers that we get will be pushed toward the other coast. So actually, rain chances will be going down this week. Warm and humid, just a few storms, and basically a dry week ahead. Forecast shaping up like this. For boating today, not too bad. East wind shifting to the north at about 10 knots, becoming more easterly tonight at about 10. You'll have a light chop with 2-foot seas. And the forecast for the week ahead looks dry, looks hot. Daytime highs today about 93 with a 30% chance of showers. Then tomorrow, drier air filters in, reducing rain chance to at best about 20%. And that starts to transition into a 20% chance for early morning showers, followed by mostly inland showers, followed by no showers at all during the evening as everything kind of moves toward the other coast. That's going to really hold true right through the first day of summer, which comes our way on Thursday. Into the weekend, perhaps, we'll up the rain chances just a little. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Let's take a look to your first alert traffic out there this morning. Already seeing some delays right there on 301, especially around State Road 70. Definitely some slowdowns already happening this morning in Manatee County. Then in Sarasota County, those roads aren't looking too bad just yet. If you're coming around the Bay Area on 41, that's a typical hot spot. That's pretty slow. Bee Ridge, starting to see some delays there as well. And Fruitville Road, if you're coming off of 75, that's a little bit slow running this morning already too. A little farther south in the area, if your commute takes you to Port Charlotte. On 41, it's not too bad, but on 75, we do have one spot to tell you about if we can pull that up there. On 75, we can pull that up on the map. We'll tell you what that is. There is an accident in the northbound lane of 75, right there, 193, and that, of course, is the Jacaranda Boulevard exit. So if you are heading northbound on 75 this morning and it takes you past exit 193 Jacaranda, you're going to have a little bit of a delay right there. It is 5:17, and that is your first alert traffic. Now to the next step in the immigration debate. The fight continues over separating children and parents that get caught trying to cross the U.S.-Mexico border illegally. ABC's Stephanie Ramos reports from Washington.
This morning, an all-out battle brewing over President Trump's controversial policy of separating children from their parents who illegally cross the border. Lawmakers protesting with immigration advocates, even visiting a detention center outside New York City.
We spoke to fathers whose children have been ripped from their arms, who have no idea when or if they will see their children again.
Some lawmakers calling President Trump's zero-tolerance policy inhumane and un-American.
There's no policy justification for this. It's all political.
Today, undocumented immigrants who cross the border illegally are being charged with a criminal offense instead of a civil offense, so their kids are being taken away, even those individuals seeking asylum. Many of the kids seen sleeping on mats at this facility in McAllen, Texas, where families are being held. Trump's former chief strategist, Steve Bannon, pushing the White House agenda on this week.
The morality is the law. They're criminals when they come across. Okay, illegally, and that's why they're getting separated.
But First Lady Melania Trump commenting for the first time publicly on the issue. She believes we need to be a country that follows all laws, but also a country that governs with heart. Even former First Lady Laura Bush blasting the policy, writing an op-ed in the Washington Post. I live in a border state. I appreciate the need to enforce and protect our international boundaries, but this zero-tolerance policy is cruel. It is immoral, and it breaks my heart.
President Trump is set to meet with Congress on Tuesday to talk immigration. There are 2 immigration bills that will be heard on the House floor this week. Stephanie Ramos, ABC News, Washington.
Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast. Apple users, you are in luck. We're going to check out the new iPhones hitting stores later on this year.
And next half hour at 5:30, a Sarasota boy and his father kick off their summer fun. Look what they captured in the Everglades. That's on the way first to Peak.
He seems friendly.
1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Turn the light off in the kitchen. It's a 6-story building. Believe it or not, it looks like 2 stories. It's actually 6 stories.
6 stories.
And that's the kitchen there in the far right.
It is. We discovered that. That's where Melania's hanging out.
5:19 right now. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big, or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $15 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand with no surprises and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received the J.D. Power Award for highest customer service 4 times in a row. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-457-2317. Go online or visit a Target store today.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's at FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
A promise was made, a promise that hit the beaches of Normandy, a vow that captured Iwo Jima, a contract that weathered Tet, a pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq, an IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
Welcome back. A live shot outside our studios at the very peaceful Rosemary District. Some dry air moving in. Chance of rain going down. We'll have John's forecast on the way. 5:22 right now this Monday morning.
Well, The Incredibles 2 did some incredible magic at the box office over the weekend, breaking records. It became the biggest animated movie opening in box office history, bringing in just over $180 million. It broke the previous record held by Finding Dory. David Daniel has more in today's Hollywood Minute.
The huge weekend for Incredibles 2 meant a huge audience for the Pixar short in front of it, Bao, about an empty nest mother who makes a dumpling that comes to life. Domi Shi directed the love note to motherhood and food, the first woman ever to direct a Pixar short.
This is the most dangerous creature that ever walked the earth.
Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom continues to roar internationally. $370 million in box office bucks so far in advance of its U.S. opening Friday. It's a familiar phenomenon for Ariana Richards, who was 12 when she played Lex in the original Jurassic Park.
I was just enjoying myself so immensely, being on this set full of dinosaurs. I never even knew what dinosaur would show up the day that I was working, and working with Steven and everything and the whole team. But then when it just skyrocketed worldwide, that was a big surprise for me as a kid, to just be swept up in this whirlwind.
Our job now is to maintain leadership. I nominate John Gotti.
Not nearly as big, Gotti, starring John Travolta as mafia boss John Gotti. The crime drama debuted with just $1.7 million, and the reviews didn't help. Gotti scored 0% on RottenTomatoes.com. At last check, 23 critics had weighed in on the film for the site, and all 23 rated it rotten. Ouch. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
You got to try hard to get a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Low, yes.
Apple is expected to announce more than one new iPhone this fall.
The story in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Apple's next big reveal.
The Wall Street Journal reports Apple will unveil 3 new iPhones this fall. One of them is the iPhone X Plus. It's expected to be bigger than the iPhone 8 Plus, and 2 of the new models will have OLED screens, which have better image quality and use less battery power. Facebook will soon prevent minors from viewing ads for gun accessories.
The social network already bans ads for guns, but sellers can post ads for related items like holsters, scopes, cases. The new rule goes into effect this Thursday. And good news for Instagram lurkers. The social media site is canceling plans to notify a user if someone takes a screenshot of their story.
Now, the notifications are something Snapchat uses with its Stories feature, which disappears after 24 hours, but it appears Instagram is going in a different direction.
All right, creep away.
Those are your Tech Bites.
Tech Bites, sponsored by Lyrica.
To most people, I look like most people. But on the inside, I feel chronic, widespread pain. Fibromyalgia may be invisible to others, but my pain is real.
Fibromyalgia is thought to be caused by overactive nerves. Lyrica is believed to calm these nerves.
I'm glad my doctor prescribed Lyrica.
For some, Lyrica delivers effective relief for moderate to even severe fibromyalgia pain and improves function. Lyrica may cause serious allergic reactions, suicidal thoughts or actions. Tell your doctor right away if you have these, new or worse depression, unusual changes in mood or behavior, swelling, trouble breathing, rash, hives, blisters, muscle pain with fever, tired feeling, or blurry vision. Common side effects: dizziness, sleepiness, weight gain, swelling of hands, legs, and feet. Don't drink alcohol while taking Lyrica. Don't drive or use machinery until you know how Lyrica affects you. Those who've had a drug or alcohol problem may be more likely to misuse Lyrica.
With less pain, I can do more with my family.
Talk to your doctor today. See if Lyrica can help. Me, pick me. Oh, come on, man. Oh, man, I love technology. Hey, yo, check out my new phone. Look at this right here. For years, the DeSoto Club has needed improvements. Join me and Boys and Girls Club of Manatee County as we raise money to build a brand new facility. It will be bigger and better, just like it was 40 years ago when I attended. Invest in kids, build great futures.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator. There was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs. Stop the crimes.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. Gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet.
You now have the power to prioritize your Facebook feed and get local news and information from the team you trust. Go to the ABC7 Sarasota page on Facebook. Give us a like, then click following and choose See First. That's it. Customize even more by choosing notifications. Choose breaking news, posts, live videos, anything you want to see in real time. Take control of your newsfeed and stay connected to what's happening in your community with ABC7 on Facebook.
When ABC7 declares a first alert weather day, it means we can expect major changes to weather conditions here along the Suncoast.
It means there could be severe, potentially dangerous weather ahead.
We tell you when a First Alert weather day is coming because we want you to be prepared.
A First Alert weather day is an advance warning. We'll let you know about any changes in the weather when the first signs appear.
ABC 7 First Alert Weather. We're here for you.
You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5:30.
Don't let it be this community, vote.
Survivors of the Parkland shooting hitting the road, touring the country with a message they hope might change the future.
Plus, a deadly earthquake strikes Japan, killing 3 and injuring over 200 others.
And in today's health news, new numbers show obesity in Florida may be a bigger problem than we once originally thought. We have those stories plus your First Alert forecast right now on Good Morning Suncoast. Good morning to you on this Monday morning. It is 5:30. I'm Stephanie Webb.
And I'm Ray Collins. Some drier air means not a lot of rain on the short-term menu here, John.
Yeah, we haven't had a lot of rain really all weekend long, though we did have some good storms that started later in the day right along the immediate coastline, and I think that'll be the case again today. Coverage right along the immediate coast is the best chance for showers area-wide. Inland, I think the rain chances are much smaller. Nothing going on right now radar-wise, so your morning commute looks like it'll be dry and just fine. Big showers and thunderstorms back to the west. Moving into Texas now, that could produce some very heavy, even flooding rainfall with perhaps 10-inch accumulations. For us, well, we're seeing temperatures that are already starting off warm. 76 degrees, Mayaca, Arcadia, Wauchula at 75, 78, and Venice 77, Sarasota, Bradenton coming in at 76. Probably top it out today again, well above the 90-degree mark. Yesterday we hit 94. Feels like temperatures were in the mid-hundreds, and I think this afternoon we'll probably feels like temperatures over 100 again as well. We'll look for a daytime high that tops out about 93. Yes, rain chances are going down. We'll talk about that in just a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, John, very good. Here's our live camera right now stationed at the on-ramp at I-75 at Bee Ridge Road. Not a lot of activity right now there. Well, that'll change as the morning progresses. Let's get a shot of our maps now. First off in Manatee County, you'll find out there is some buildup there around the 301 and 70 exchange. Otherwise, all clear so far in Manatee County. Checking farther south now into the northern half of Sarasota County. Some slowdowns there along the Bayfront on the southbound lane as you cross from the Ringling Causeway all the way down to the 301 junction. And then farther south, we'll see a little bit of red there on 41 southbound. And also that ongoing issue, an accident already this morning northbound on I-75 as you approach the Jacaranda exit. But there's no residual backup so far, so you can get through there without much problem right now. 5:32 right now. A developing story out of western Japan. At least 3 are dead, 200 injured after a 6.1 earthquake shook this morning. It happened near the major city of Osaka, Japan's second largest city. It shut down trains during the busy morning commute. 2 elderly men and a 9-year-old girl all died from collapsing walls.
Well, you know your country has good soccer fans. When they celebrate so hard, it actually registers as a small earthquake. Not even kidding. That is what happened in Mexico City after the men's national soccer team scored a goal against Germany over the weekend. But as Adriana Weingold reports, a day ended pretty quickly for many fans.
It was a big day for Mexico's soccer fans who didn't expect to win the game against Germany and went crazy when they did. Hundreds of people filled the streets of Pacoima, waving flags, screaming, celebrating Mexico's win.
Completely shocked the whole planet, but obviously not us. Look around. This is what we do.
We just come here to celebrate, have some fun, and happens to be, it gets out of house sometimes.
And that's exactly what happened as foot traffic spilled into the roadway, with drivers ignoring speed limits and traffic laws, doing burnouts and getting dangerously close to the partiers on foot.
If somebody loses control of their car and hits crowd or comes up on the sidewalk, this business is still open. That creates a major concern for us.
LAPD swooped in fast, shutting down streets, focusing at first on the intersection of Van Nuys and Laurel Canyon before carefully dispersing crowds. They moved in formation through the neighborhood as the helicopters circled up above, forcing partiers to move on.
We're out here being safe, honking, walking around with flags. There hasn't been no violence. I've been out here the whole time. We're just out here celebrating, enjoying our victory.
For the most part, the celebrations were peaceful. Out of the hundreds of people out here, 3 were arrested. 1 for reckless driving, 1 for being drunk in public, and 1 for illegal fireworks.
Well, it was a 24-hour festival meant to celebrate the arts in New Jersey over the weekend, but it turned deadly after a shooting that left 22 people injured. 33-year-old suspect Tahaj Wells is believed to have been killed by police. Officials have also charged a 23-year-old Amir Armstrong. Now, police there said that the incident appears to be part of a neighborhood fight. Investigators are also looking into possibly a couple attempted carjackings also near the festival.
A nationwide troop is now underway by students from Broward County's Stoneman Douglas High School, a tour that should be. They're making stops across America to get out their message in support of gun control. St. Louis is their second stop. The event includes a panel discussion with both students and local community leaders.
Out of tonight's town hall, I'd say we'd like to foster some more community discussion, but kind of move past just talking and move into action.
Among those in attendance, outspoken student activist David Hogg. His message to St. Louis students: make sure you vote. Of course, 17 people died at their school in a mass shooting last February.
Well, while lower Michigan is hitting record high temperatures over the past few weeks, heavy rain and flooding is hitting the upper peninsula pretty hard. More than 60 sinkholes and washouts were reported in an area of Houghton County after historic flooding. Now, businesses and homes, even roads, were completely washed out in that area over the weekend.
The road by my parents' house was kind of caved in, and I saw a bunch of pictures on Facebook and live videos that Taco Bell the sign was down and that the whole valley between it was covered in water.
Majority of us can't even get home. Roads are collapsed, bridges are collapsed, roads are covered in water. Whatever roads aren't collapsed, it's depending whether or not how heavy a vehicle you drive.
And unfortunately, more rain and flash flooding is expected throughout the week.
New numbers show obesity in Florida might be bigger than researchers realized. A national health survey put out by the Floridians put the overall obesity rate of Floridians at almost 30% of the population. But now a new study by the University of Florida suggests that number may be closer to 37% of Floridians are obese. Researchers also found that it was more likely for women to be obese than men. Obesity can cause some long-term health issues such as type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and also certain cancers.
Well, happening today with School Avenue being closed around Sarasota High School, the district is looking for ideas to improve the walking and bike paths that are around the school itself. If you want to weigh in, they're holding a meeting today in the school's cafeteria from 6 to 8.
Efforts to restore shellfish to Sarasota Bay are now underway. Over the weekend, Sarasota Baywatch and also Moat Marine worked together to release nearly 30,000 clams into the water. This comes thanks to efforts to improve the bay's water quality in recent years, something that the commissioner of Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission says is a concern for them and a lot of the state's waterways.
We try to improve Florida's habitat as a whole. We have challenges associated with overfishing, commercial use of our wonderful resources, and we also have water quality issues. This addresses all 3 of those.
The president of the Sarasota Baywatch says this release should also help with future outbreaks of red tide.
Well, nothing says father-son bonding quite like capturing a python in the Everglades.
This is a giant python.
Okay, I see its head. I see its head. Oh my God, its head. I can't even see its head anymore. It's completely. Oh my God, guys.
Here, hold 2 lights.
Guys, look at that beast. Oh, yeah.
In a My Father's Day was cooler than yours moment, Thomas Peltier and his 11-year-old son took part in a 3-day python hunt in the Everglades, and they were successful. Pythons, of course, considered an invasive predator. They have wreaked all kinds of havoc on the wildlife in the area. Oh my goodness. If you want to check out the rest of this video, just head online to mysuncoast.com. I know that I will.
My dad and I went for bike rides a lot.
Doesn't count. That was cooler.
Wow.
Still to come, a life-changing gift for Father's Day. We're going to tell you what one daughter gave her dad.
Was it France that gave us the Statue of Liberty?
Yes.
There you go.
According to my history teacher in 6th grade.
5:39 right now, live shot there, the Statue of Liberty, Ellis Island. And background looks like New York, perhaps. Maybe New Jersey. Can't tell from that angle. I think it's New Jersey from that angle, actually. Any comments? You're a native of that area, John?
Yeah, not sure.
All right. Take it away.
Not sure. We have some onshore wind flow again this afternoon, and we still do have some red tide issues. In fact, some of the last reports that didn't come in before, came in on Friday actually, showed some intense irritant in the air. Of course, that has changed since then, and we'll await for the new reports that come in this afternoon. But still, as of yesterday, we have some low to moderate reports of red tide irritant in the air. If you're headed to the beach today, expect that onshore flow once again this afternoon with a temperature of about 88. That'll be the place to be if you want to beat the heat, because inland temperatures will solidly be in the 90s most everywhere, even mid-90s in inland areas. Complete forecast coming up in a few.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Yeah, I have questions.
Prescription drugs aren't as bad as street drugs, right?
Weed's legal, isn't it?
Drinking is worse than smoking weed.
Isn't it? Why
is heroin so addictive?
Molly just makes you feel happy.
I have questions. Mom?
Dad, did you ever try drugs?
They're going to ask. Be ready. Go to drugfree.org. A message from Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
The ABC7 First Alert weather app just got even better. It's easy to use once you download it. First, tell the app to follow you, so you get alerts pinpointed to exactly where you are. Then customize your settings with all the places you go, from the beach to grandmother's house. Get accurate alerts for everyone you care about. You can even pick which weather alerts and categories you want and what they sound like. More ways to customize and more ways to keep your family safe. Download the ABC7 First Alert weather app today.
Selfless service is the principle that guides Army National Guard soldiers to be ready whenever disaster strikes. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times. Selfless service. It's what inspires the men and women of the Army National Guard to be part of something greater than themselves. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more.
My name is Julius. I have cerebral palsy. I work for Farmer Jeffrey Weising Law Firm. I do a lot of data entry and scanning documents. I want to increase my working experience to make the company much better. At the end of the day, it's good to think of the day's work and to think about what I have accomplished.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
My name is Luke Perry, and I am 1 million strong. I'm in the fight against colorectal cancer because I believe we can win it. Colon and rectal cancers are the second leading cause of cancer deaths among men and women in the U.S. Colon cancer is preventable. Know the risk factors and make sure to get screened. There are simple, take-home options available. Take control of your health. Screening for colon cancer isn't embarrassing. It can be life-saving. To find out more about your options, visit fightcrc.org.
Now your ABC7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So we are looking at an air temperature that comes in at 77 degrees already this time of morning with a 94% relative humidity. That's very high. Yesterday, we had temperatures that when you factored in that humidity made it feel like about 104 degrees outside. And I think this afternoon we could see similar sorts of feels like temperatures as our actual air temperature hits 93 or so. As we progress through the morning hours, by 7 a.m., I think our temperatures will be close to about 78. 91 degrees by 12 noon. We will have hit the 90-degree mark already by 12 noon. And as we head into the afternoon, about 93 degrees, we'll pick up a sea breeze, and that will help to kind of cool the immediate coastline. But inland, you'll still warm as we head into 3, 4 o'clock, and we'll probably be up to about 95 in inland areas. By 3 p.m., temperatures fall from about 3 to 7. We have a chance at some rainfall, with the best chance of that rain probably around 4, 5, 6 o'clock. And that rain chance at about 30%. It'll be centered right along the coastline, and inland areas you'll see very little rainfall today. Radar right now, quiet across our area. In fact, the state of Florida, pretty quiet. But back to the west, we do have showers in progress. This area given about a 10% chance of any kind of development by the Hurricane Center. So we'll watch that and see if anything actually does develop, but it certainly doesn't look like it will. There will, however, be plentiful amounts of moisture moving onshore, producing rainfall of perhaps 10 inches from parts of coastal Texas to Louisiana. We're not going to get anything like that around here. In fact, our rain chances may be going down over the next 2 to 5 days. Again, about a 10% chance is it for any kind of development. High pressure remains the dominant weather feature for us, bringing our winds in out of the east today, keeping the sea breeze close to the coastline, giving the best chance of rainfall for our coastal residents. Now, over the next several days, we'll have some drier air beginning to filter in. Drier air reducing rain chances, and then we'll start to watch our winds begin to shift. They'll shift more to an westerly direction. Remember, we had that last week as we head into, well, as early as tomorrow, but certainly by Wednesday, that westerly wind will establish itself, and it'll take the showers, which will build near the coast in the morning, and push them back well inland during the afternoon, during the time of maximum heating. High pressure sinking south, causing that little bit of a wind shift for us. Warm and humid conditions continue. A few inland storms today and drier all week long. So the forecast watches this humid air indicated here by these orange colors. That's the amount of moisture available to produce rainfall, continuing to increase across the Texas coastline. But for us, dry air coming in from the Atlantic reduces our rainfall chances right into the weekend. So the forecast calls for an east wind coming in at about 10 knots, becoming more northerly at about 10 knots this evening. That'll bring us 2-foot sea and a light chop on your bay and inland waters. A couple of tides, a 10:32 low tide, a high tide at 4:19, another low tide at 12:48. So the forecast looks like this. We'll have a daytime high today that tops out about 93. 30% chance of showers. Over the next several days, we'll keep that rain chance minimal, only at about 20%. And most of those showers will be very light during the morning hours, shifting well east out of our viewing area as we head into the afternoon. Temperatures hovering around the 92-degree mark. And then as we head into Thursday, happy first day of summer, coming your way at about 6 o'clock in the morning. Of course, that means months and months of warm temperatures, and this week will be no exception as we keep the temperatures in the 90 right straight through the rest of the week. Again, little chances of rainfall through the work week, but as we head into the weekend, we'll perhaps up the rain chances just a little bit to about 30% both days. Those showers will be mostly of the afternoon variety, building inland and then drifting back to the coast as winds once again shift and moisture returns to the forecast area. We'll have more details on your forecast coming up in a few.
All right, thanks, John. Let's check outside, check out your hot first alert traffic out there. Manatee County starting to see some delays right there. State Road 70 and 301, that whole area in and out of Bradenton is just running just a little bit slower than usual this morning. That, of course, is in Manatee County. Now, if we're going to head into Sarasota County, the northern half, also starting to see some of our usual delays in that area. If you're coming off of 75 and headed onto Fruitville Road right there, there's a couple delays as you come off of the highway. It's slowing things down just a little bit as you go through that little area, just our normal morning commute there. Also on Clark Road, a little delay in that area too. Headed a little bit farther south if you are headed toward Northport or Port Charlotte or Punta Gorda. 41 is running pretty smooth. You're starting to see there are some big slowdowns as you go through Venice, but overall not too bad. And then we do have one accident to tell you about. I-75 in that northbound lane. If you're headed northbound on I-75, there's an accident right there at 193, which is the Jacaranda Boulevard exit. Once again, northbound lane, I-75, there's an accident right there at 193, the Jacaranda Boulevard exit. And that is your first alert traffic. Well, this next story might make you feel a little guilty about that sad old coffee cup you got your dad for Father's Day. I'm not sure there's too much more that could trump giving your dad your kidney. Omar Lewis has the story.
This Father's Day is unlike any other for Patrick Bachelier.
And I didn't want to let my dad down.
This year, he and his daughter Jacqueline have a special connection.
My daughter gave me the golden kidney.
Patrick is an esteemed private chef who has worked for the likes of Spanish royalty, but he recently found himself desperately in need of a second kidney transplant after the kidney he received back in 2014 started to show signs of failure.
I was really feeling worse than I ever felt before. My body was double the size I am now.
He didn't look well. I didn't know how much time he had, honestly, and it's hard for a child to look at, your parent and say that.
The lifeline he needed was found extremely close to home. His daughter Jacqueline was a 100% perfect match for a kidney donation.
And I got the phone call, and my heart I was so overwhelmed with joy.
So on May 29th, the procedure was done at Jackson Memorial Hospital in Miami. But doctors here say since this was Patrick's second transplant, there were risks involved.
If you've already undergone a transplant, your immune system is very active, so there's a higher chance of rejection. So to find the type of match like Mr. Bachelier found is amazing.
But the surgery went off without a hitch, and on this holiday all about celebrating dads, for this father and daughter, they're thankful for the gift of life.
I mean, in our case, it's special because it's my dad, so he'll always have a piece of me.
That's the reason why she did it, because we care for one another.
Well, what's the nicest gift you ever gave your father?
Oh, my dad was a Hoosier, so I gave him a signed Bobby Knight poster. I couldn't find the chair that Knight threw across the basketball floor.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have gotten that. How about you?
Maybe some tennis balls or a bag of licorice, but we did send our parents to Ireland for their anniversary.
Okay, that trumps all the gifts.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
That's pretty good.
That woman trumps our gift.
Yeah, when you give the gift of life, it's pretty much, if you have other siblings, you're like, well, okay, no one can top that in the family. Well done.
5:51, here's a look at Atlanta, Georgia, as you awaken on this Monday morning. Pretty lit up building there at the top. See that?
Oh, it looks gorgeous up there. I wonder if it's going to be as hot as it is here today. We've got a high of 93.
Wow.
And summer's not even officially here until next week.
Thursday, starts Thursday.
This week?
June 22nd.
I'm good with calendars, Ray.
Yeah, I'm not much better. Headlines after this. Stay with us.
If you're looking for the perfect trip that allows you to spend quality time with a family, then discover the great outdoors on an Alabama Black Belt adventure. Create unforgettable memories while hunting, fishing, or biking and hiking. Or play the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, now celebrating 25 years. And while you're here, enjoy the flavors of the Black Belt. Book your adventure at our lodges or stay in the Renaissance Montgomery Hotel and Spa. Start planning an Alabama Black Belt adventure today.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard serve to give back to their country and communities. Their part-time commitment qualifies them for an array of benefits, such as affordable health and life insurance benefits, education benefits, including tuition assistance, student loan repayment and GI Bill programs, a retirement plan based on part-time service, and VA home mortgages. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about all the benefits available in the Army National Guard.
Iguanas only reproduce 1 month out of the year.
That's because they suffer from erectile dysfunction.
According to the Department of Homeland Security, what color represents the lowest threat level?
Is Caucasian a color?
Which casino game has the best odds for a payout?
The ATM.
Funny you should ask. Weekdays at 4:30 and 11:30 on ABC 7.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind your meds to To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Welcome back. Here are the headlines. One of the fastest growing areas of the Suncoast, northern Manatee County. Developers right now are building a grocery store and hotel near I-75 and Moccasin Wallow Road. 3 new schools also open in Parrish next month.
Plus, The Incredibles 2 flexed its muscles at the box office this weekend. It became the biggest animated movie opening in box office history, pulling in just over $180 million this weekend.
Environmentalists released 30,000 clams into Sarasota Bay this weekend. The group called Sarasota Bay Watch says shellfish restorations will improve overall water quality.
And coming up in the next hour, the massive erosion on Lido Beach attracted a surprise visitor to the Suncoast. And here's your crazy video of the day. A ceiling decoration collapses at a mountain resort. We're going to have the story behind that video for you at 6.
But first, one last check of the weather this hour from John Scalzi.
Your weather highlights to take away with you this morning are warm temperatures, hot and humid today with feels like temperatures breaking the 100-degree mark once again. Mostly coastal storms developing later in the afternoon and evening particularly, and then kind of fading away as those showers move into Gulf waters in the early evening. And then dry this week as some drier air moves in. Complete forecast coming up in a few.
That sounds good.
Stay cool out there.
I come from Michigan where the feels like was always the other direction.
Oh, Buffalo, I get it. We have our day's top headlines in 3 minutes here on Good Morning Suncoast. Stay with us.